Mission Impossible Final Reckoning is the very last of the Mission Impossible films. But, you know, will it actually be the very last of them? I say will it because, this day and age, I get the sequels have really always been a thing. They've always been around. But they're frankly out of control nowadays. And I do think that maybe in the next 10, 15, 20 years from now, there's going to be a new Mission Impossible film called Mission Impossible New Reckoning. Wouldn't surprise me if it happens. Won't surprise me if it doesn't either. But Tom Cruise, what can you expect, right? I haven't seen every Mission Impossible film, but I've liked for the most part most of the ones I have seen. And when Mission Impossible Fallout came out in 2018, I knew that there was no possible way of any subsequent entries surpassing it. So Dead Reckoning Part 1 comes out, and I liked it, didn't love it. And Final Reckoning comes out, Mission Impossible Reckoning. It's just one big story. I do think that this film, its addition of emotion, its addition of heart and soul and characters, it was needed a lot for an entry like this. Like the final entry, it was needed, and it was a good change in pace because the people I've seen as recent that haven't liked this film, they haven't liked the amount of drama that this movie has. But for me, I think that it is actually a great move to include more characters, more earned sentimentality, and more drama, personally. Because it's been a few years since Dead Reckoning 1, they do end up recapping generally what's going on. There's this little AI-related thing. It's a shapeshifter, and it's going to pretty much destroy the world. Ethan Hunt and his buddies are the best people cut out for the job. And that there's also some enemies of Ethan Hunt's where they have other plans of their own to destroy the thing. Like there's Isai Morales who wants the thing destroyed, but he frankly has different ideas for Ethan Hunt. So the friction and the feud that goes on between Isai Morales and Ethan Hunt, it's a big whatever, but, Isai Morales is an underrated guy. I like seeing him in this, even though his bits of the film, like his bits in the storyline, it's not great. It's kind of worth seeing. One thing that I'll admit, just like a lot of people have complained about, the movie's almost 3 hours. It's about 170 minutes long. It did not need to be this long if this was going to be a separate entry from Dead Reckoning Part 1. To me, I personally think that if they were to make one Reckoning movie, make it roughly 3 hours, but combine both films, take the best parts in Part 1, the best parts in Final Reckoning, combine them, but then making this one 3 hours, it drags on a little too much. There's a little too much dead air, and it can get repetitious. I don't want to say that all that really negates the movie as a whole, because the movie does a really good job in showcasing some acting chops and some emotional depth of the actors themselves and the characters themselves too. So Mission Impossible, that the entire franchise, I'm sure even the TV show, has been best known for its crazy, life-threatening stunts. And so whenever there's drama in there, people may think to themselves, oh, I want to see them fight on the edge of a skyscraper and bullets coming at them. Maybe that's true, maybe that's good, but, with them utilizing more emotion in this is really good, because the first Mission Impossible movie came out in 1996, and they haven't stopped for 29 years. So many people have come and gone since then, and this one being such a big homecoming, you bet there's gonna be lots of emotion. You bet there's gonna be like a big brotherhood and big camaraderie with Ethan Hunt and everyone, really. That's why I'm surprised that there's not as much emotions, not as much love between the characters that's shown in any of the previous films. I mean, like, yeah, it happens here and there, but this one, it's that they just go all out with really everything in terms of the emotions. And of course, Tom Cruise. A lot of people don't think that he's a good actor. They've obviously never seen Magnolia or Born on the 4th of July or Jerry Maguire or Last Samurai. But, if you missed any of those, that Final Reckoning does show that he's a good actor. He has good acting chops, and I liked seeing him in this. Probably his best performance that he's done in quite a few years, so good on him. So, yeah, even though the movie is heavier than most of the other ones in terms of its characters' emotions, it also does incorporate quite a bit of hardcore, life-threatening stunts. So, like everyone loves to see in the Mission Impossible films. I do think that all the action scenes in this are really good. I thought that in terms of the amount of peril that this movie has, it does a good job with presenting all its wild danger, so good on them. So yeah, even though I've never been huge with Mission Impossible, the way that they're able to write out this big homecoming, this big conclusion, that's all done in a really good way where I think really anybody that watches the film can feel for what's going on. Even the people that don't like the film, they can see where the fans of it are coming from. That they can give credit where credit is due. They'll be like, okay, that was a good bit. I thought that was a good performance. I thought the character development here was pretty good. I think that's how most of the people that didn't like the film will react. But personally, with me, maybe it's just because I like serious films more, I like dramas more, so I guess that's why I fell for this one as hard as I did, but whatever, it's still good. So I'm actually really surprised myself with how much Mission Impossible Final Reckoning did to me. I'm so surprised with wanting to give this movie 3.5 stars out of 4. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you again next time.